Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. All right, today I want to talk about a drill. I mean, everybody's looking for drills that's going to help you learn a particular move in the golf swing. And consequently, the big move that befuddles most folks in the golf swing, the peak performance golf swing that is the bump. All right? And for most of you who say to me, I just can't seem to bump. Serge, no matter what I do, I can't seem to bump. I'm going to say this. I've said it many times on dailies. I'm going to say it again. You can't bump if you aimed out to the right, if you're a right-hander, and out to the left for lefty. Because if you get up here and you bumped, you'd hit the ball right to right to right. You can only bump if you're aimed at least somewhat left and basically best parallel left. Okay? Or parallel right if you're a righty. So, with that in mind, that you are going to set up where you can at least make a bump, what is the whole concept or the process of the bump? The bump happens as, I have this position I call the bell position. You get in your posture, take your right hand, put it under your left elbow here, and pull yourself up, basically, and just let your body turn a little bit. But I'm going to call this a static swing, and you're right there. That's the bell position, which for most of us is going to be just about out from the ear or maybe a little bit higher. All right? The bell position is, in my mind, I got one of those desk bells with the little plunger, ding, ding, it's up there. So when I'm starting to swing up in a swing now where I get the club moving and I get it, and our first move is to get it in the mitt and up the tree to get the club head above the hands. Most of the people are taught to take it away and maintain extension, right? That club is really heavy right now. That club, by the time it reaches right here, should be equal to the hands, and by the time this arm gets right there, it should be straight up, okay? Straight up. See how fast it's getting up? Okay? We lift it from the shoulders, not the elbows and not the wrists. You don't cock the club up. You don't bend the wrists, the elbows to get it up. You just lift everything together, both hands working together. All right? So once we go from here, in the mitt and up the tree, as I'm getting up there and I reach my bell position, I get bing, bang. So sometimes I call this the Big Bang Theory. Okay? So, bing, bang. So the bell position could be in different positions for different golfers. Depends on your suppleness, your flexibility, your strength, how much you can lift your club up. But if your bell position somewhere around here, you should be getting nowhere near parallel or longer, right? Because once you hit bing, this transfers. So there's a moment in time where everything's going this way, and then when that bing happens and a bump goes, now basically from the hips down, your hands might go up another, say if you take a camera and slow motion it, you might get 1 or 2 or 3 clicks more that it's going to be going up. So that means all of this is still staying here and going up. Because once I read here, once you get to your toe line, there's no more turn. It's all lift. So as you can see from here, the only part of my arm that's directly over the toe line is the elbow to the shoulder. The elbow to the hand and the club will be over, but they will be inside because we're swinging up on a diagonal plane, right? A tilted Ferris wheel, so to speak. And you shouldn't be wider than your hands and clubs should not get outside your shoulder. It should stay very close to the center of your shoulder, just as where it should be when you finish over here. We don't swing outside the shoulders on each side of us, which that's almost all you see today. So once I get here and it goes up, this is now taking what the bump starts. So bing, this is going to stay lifting a little bit more for maybe 1 or 2 clicks or 3 clicks on a camera if you go when you slow motion it, but this has already started. So half of me is going that way, half of me is going this way, and my arms and club are staying up there, are still staying up here, okay? So now I'm getting an unbelievably big stretch all the way from here, all the way up here and down to there. And I just received a letter the other day from one of my students who was at my last school in Seattle, and he just said when he started working on the bump, he was swinging, he was starting to hit the ball a little bit better, but he knew he didn't have it anywhere near correct. And while I was, just after I left, a daily came out on something to do with the downswing and maybe bumping or whatever. But, oh, I know what it was. I think he said, I talked about once you bump, the whole concept is your weight has to roll to the outside of the foot. See, the whole world, if you turn your body too much, that pulls your knee backwards. And that's what they all try to do. Like Dolly Ears Tiger just talked about. All I want to do is snap my left knee and hip and just, that torques, just pulls my body like crazy that way and pulls my arms through. Well, we keep the body still and swing the arms through. And he said, when I talked about rolling over to the outside edge of the foot, because just remember, this is the key. A flat foot goes with a straight knee. Straight knee and a flat foot is going to give you knee problems and hip problems and everything else. We know what Tiger's got, right? Or had, hopefully, but they're still bothering me. He hasn't got it back to playing yet. But that caused it. And I predicted in 1999, and every time he had an operation, came back, and I saw it, kept saying he's going to get it again, he's going to get it again, because our knees and our ankles are flex joints. They're designed to be in dynamic motion with a little bit of flexion. All right? And flexion, actually staying flexed, actually stretches muscles. So when you roll your feet, a roll foot goes with a flexed knee. We want to be slightly rolled. That's what helps keep us back. And when I'm up here at this point, notice when I bump, I got more bow in the body, because my head's staying back. That helps keep us behind the ball. They don't want to bump because they all want to be ahead of the ball. They figured out a way to hit the ball from there, but it's not efficient, and it's really, and it gives you too steep an angle, which they call us steep, but they don't understand steep, and gives them all those physical problems, never mind all those things. So we want to roll the ankle. He said once he learned to roll the ankle, he thought he was getting pretty close to the bump, but once he did that, he said it's unbelievable how the bump fell into place. And he said, I went from wondering, how can I get power with this swing? But he knew that, and he knew and accepted that power was swinging your arms faster. He said, all of a sudden, I went from just what I felt like was tired hands to where I felt like my arms had jet propulsion. And that's what it is. So when you're up here and you get that bump, here's the key. The bump isn't a big bump. The bump isn't any boom, like if I'm standing here and I got up against a door jamb, this is really a good bump thing, all you want to do is this. But I want that foot right up against the jamb, so just enough so that I can roll. And when you do that, how far is it moving? 1 inch, 2 at the most. But the closer you stay to 1 inch, I think the better off you are. But I'm not going to stand here and try to knock the door jamb down. But that's what I see a lot when people stop bumping. They get in here and they go crazy. Now what happens? Your foot rolls too much. I mean, even when my foot rolls a little, you can see it just off the ground a little bit. But if you roll too much and your knee moves too much because you bump too far, your whole right side collapses. And now all of a sudden, you're in here trying to get yourself back to enough coordination and control to hopefully find the ball. So the bump is only about 1 inch. Skipping rocks on a lake. Nobody skips a rock on a lake by doing that. Skip a rock, same thing away to bump. And your arm swings straight up. You skip that rock, it goes straight up, and that's the golf swing. That's the bump. Okay, folks? So that's how you learn the bump, and that's how much the bump is, and that's how crucial it is. The bump causes the body separation, half that way, half this way, and then you just stand here, and it's setting you all the muscles to pull and rip straight up to the finish. As I call it, stand up AFAP, like a Pop-Tart out of a toaster. All right, well, that's how we bump and become a Pop-Tart to start hitting the ball more solid straight, likely better trajectory, farther, and help you shoot those lower scores. That's it for the Surge for today, and I'll be speaking with you all again soon.